I'm going to say 2020 is the most divisive, the most polarizing election in our history.
In just 4 days, President-elect Joe Biden will be inaugurated as the 46th president of the United States. Many experts believe the 2020 presidential election was one of the most divisive elections of all time, but it's among an extended list that were challenged. 25 News reporter Paige Ellenberger takes us through history and explains other heated elections.
Contested presidential elections can date back to some of the first presidencies. They happen almost every election. However, the extent to which they're challenged is another story.
Dr. Timothy Hemis, an American history professor at Texas A&M Central Texas, says we can trace election turmoil back to the 1700s.
George Washington was elected unanimously. So it's the next one. It's the John Adams, the 1796 election. Then you have a very heated division. It's the start of the two-party system.
That election laying the foundation for many to follow.
The most contested election in American history is the 1860 election. Abraham Lincoln is not even on the ballot in 10 states.
Dr. Patrick Flavin, a political science professor at Baylor, believes this year's election just might top that.
Without question, that this is the most divisive election, probably not only in modern American history, but in all of American history.
But with a pandemic, a crippling economy, and social movements spanning across the whole year, Dr. Flavin says the reaction to this election was anticipated.
The stage had been set for several months, if not several years, to make people question whether our elections are legitimate.
So what can we do to ease the tension? Well, experts suggest getting back to a time when American politics were a bit less exciting.
If politics, for at least in the short term, became a little more boring, a little more ho-hum, a little more routine, I think that would be a good thing for the United States.
Dr. Hemis says while predicting the future is something a historian doesn't do, he feels that the emotions after Inauguration Day will ebb and flow. Reporting in Temple, Paige Ellenberger, 25 News.
Paige, thank you. Now